Reaction from Jacob Rees-Mogg, who joins me now. So, Jacob, I read things that you were saying, that you think that perhaps if we dropped elements of this green agenda that the Tories could actually make difference. Is there some belief in the party that actually they do have a chance? Because I sense a real sort of malaise that they could actually win.
Oh, I think there is a real chance. I thought Uxbridge was a fundamentally important result for the Conservatives. It shows that if you're on the side of voters and you're trying to make their lives better rather than worse, lo and behold, people will vote for you. And the biggest issue facing people at the moment is the cost of living crisis. So why should we be piling extra costs on people, whether this is in the form of banning petrol vehicles or it's insisting on getting rid of gas boilers and installing heat pumps, which don't seem to work very well. All of this is cost. And what we want to do is say to our voters, look, the UK has got a good record. In the Yale rankings, we are second, only behind Denmark, of 180 nations in achieving climate goals. Let other countries catch up a bit. Let us catch our breath and allow people to afford their lives.
It feels like a eureka moment, but my question is, why didn't the Tory party know that before? I mean, to me, it was quite obvious. We've been talking about this for ages. People are sick and tired of the whole net zero concept and all the things that have been coming alongside it. We all know about the cost of living crisis. Why has it only taken until now for the Tory party to actually see that that is a problem?
Well, from my point of view, I saw firsthand how absurd some of this was whilst I was briefly Energy Secretary. Because some of the rules that you apply make absolutely no sense. If you take our steel industry, we impose on British Steel some of the highest energy costs anywhere in the world, and then we give them a little bit of subsidy to try and keep them in business, and instead end up importing steel from other countries because the carbon emissions on the steel produced in other countries arise there rather than here. So we look good, but we damage business, and fundamentally for the world, we don't change anything. And so I realised at that point that we had to move away from this ideological view of net zero and work towards improving the environment in a way that goes with the grain of human nature and is affordable.
Now, Jacob, I want to get your reaction now to the apology from the BBC to Nigel.
Why is it that the BBC is always a few days late? The BBC really ought to have given this apology when it first emerged that they'd been sold a pup by a, quote, source, unquote, at NatWest, and they should have corrected it immediately. But this is characteristic of the torpor with which the BBC operates, that it does all by halves. It gets there in the end, but slowly and lumberingly, because it's a vast bureaucracy.
Just seems absurd. And with regard to Dame Alison Rose, whilst Simon Jack can't reveal his source, do you think that it's now time that she should admit if it is her or deny that it isn't?
Dame Alison must answer that question, because this is really, really important. If you cannot trust your bank to keep your secrets, who can you trust? Even public figures should be able to rely on their doctor and their banker to keep confidential the exchanges they have. If Dame Alison has broken this, she must go. And therefore she must answer the question, was she the source for the BBC? Has she, in fact, landed the BBC in the minestrone?
Well, listen, Jacob, thank you so much for talking to me. It's good to talk to you. And don't forget you can catch Jacob's show this evening here on GB News at 8 o'clock.